is Saturday, May 24th. My name is Karen and this is BobbleHeadKnits. So welcome. I was not going to record this weekend because it is Memorial Day weekend, the long holiday weekend in the US, and I thought people are probably not watching videos, but I had to record because I finished something huge and I really just wanted to share with you. So here I am. Okay, let's just dive right in to what the finished object is. I'm only going to show you half of it to start with because we have to discuss all the things with it. So this is my husband's finished Dustland sweater by Stephen West. Here it is. It is done. It is totally off the needles. That's the top half of it. It is not blocked yet because I just finished it yesterday. And I am waiting because I have something coming that's going to help me block this, but I just wanted to share it with you as is. So this is knit with Shibui Haven in the color White Caper. For those of you who have been around a while, you know the situation with this. I ran out of yarn 3 times, basically. I realized that I had used a couple skeins of the yarn on a sweater or pinguono on a hat, and because of that, I did not quite have the amount of yarn, but I just kept knitting it, I was like, it'll work out in the end. I ended up going to Ravelry, Etsy, eBay, Reddit, all the things, including all of you, and just went in search of this yarn. And I was able to purchase 2 more skeins of it. They're 50-gram skeins. I could have used a third, but I made it work, mostly. So where we left off last week is I was going to go to the local yarn store, the Tangled Ball, and buy some yarn that was not the same yarn, but close enough that it was going to work. I did that, but then when I got home, I was like, just so I can double check, I'm going to lay this sweater down on top of another sweater that my husband has that he bought in Scotland that he loves, and just see if the lengths and everything, if it's like the same length, if it's a little shorter, a little longer, And I had been doing this all along, but I hadn't done it in a few weeks. So I was like, let's just try it again. And I did, and by some miracle, I realized that I could probably get a couple inches off the bottom of the sweater to use some of that yarn on the rest of the sleeves and the bottom hem. So I had already gone to the Tangled Ball. I had bought yarn, Marsha, and there was a sales rep for some yarn company there, but they helped me match the yarn as close as possible. I had brought the yarn home. I had wound it. It was all ready to go when I resized everything and eyed it up. So I was like, let's just rip it back just a little bit and see how much yarn we're able to salvage, see how much more we can get done. So I did that, and I was just totally winging it. I was like, let's just see. Might work, might not, but either way, I do have yarn that I can sub in. And by Friday night, I was pleasantly surprised because I had enough that I knew. I was like, I think this is going to work. So I just kept knitting all week. I was just knitting on this. And by some miracle, all the yarn in this sweater is the same. And it fits my husband. So bottom hem, look at that. Ooh, it's huge. I can't really show you. It is going to grow when I block it. So it's just a tad short, little tad, like maybe an inch. So I figured, well, use that yarn to finish the ribbing on the ends and see what happens. So that's where we are. It's totally off the needles. It has not been blocked yet. I'm so excited. My husband's so happy with it. Even if it does not grow a huge amount, it will still fit him. I do have a picture of him wearing it, but I need to take better pictures. So the picture I have is on my Ravelry, but I told him once I get this block, we'll take nice pictures outside and then I'll share them with all of you. But if you're just dying to see it on him, there is a picture if you go to my Ravelry project page. So I keep fiddling with my glasses because they're not quite sitting right. I don't know if you can tell, but they're a little wonky. And I don't feel like going back and getting them fixed, so I just fiddle with them all the time. I'll eventually go back and get them adjusted, but not today. All right, as I mentioned, this was, well, maybe I didn't mention it, but this is DK weight yarn. I held it double to get worsted weight. It's very heavy. It is very soft. It is gorgeous. And I am so happy. This might be the thing that, like, my proudest accomplishment in knitting. I don't know. It just was a challenge because of all the yarn issues I had. And I got it done and I'm so happy. And he loves it. I love it. Yes. All right. So that's the big project. This used 22 skeins of yarn. I had 23 total in the end. And I ended up, if you, well, let's see. Do I have it? I have it somewhere. Here it is. Sorry for the crinkle. I have the equivalent of a little over a skein of yarn left. These are 50 gram, of course. They're not wound up beautifully, so sorry for the mess, but I'll show you. There they are. That's all I have left. They're all wound double, so I need to unwind them and just put them back in DK form, and I'm going to do that today. But these are like rare finds now since the dyer's not dying. So I'm going to save this yarn for now, and if I need to make any adjustments in the length on the hem, bottom hem, I can do that because I have enough. And then if not, I'm just going to keep it. And should anyone be knitting with this yarn and run out of yarn, if they reach out to me, I will probably just give it to them, honestly. All right, so that was the big news. So the sweater is something like, oh, I measured it, and I cannot remember, but it's like 3,700 yards of yarn, 1,100 grams. It really, yeah, it really is a massive de-stash, I guess. I don't know what you call it. I mean, it was all in my stash, so I got that much yarn out of my stash, 22 skeins. I, of course, probably bought the equivalent of that in the last month, but yeah, very, very happy. It will block out nicely. I need to kind of give it a, like, go over it closely to make sure there's no lingering, you know, issues, but yeah, think it's done. All right, that was the big news. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to things that I frogged this week. Okay, before we go to my whips. I was knitting that beautiful Tanis Fiber Arts flip side tee using Hue Loco sock yarn, fingering weight. Sadly, I had to frog it. I'll tell you why. So it was this striped sweater. It was all this yarn, beautiful yarn, with all these different colors, and yeah, it's gorgeous. But I noticed the other day when I was knitting on it that I somehow got off on the raglan increases and decreases and all that, and so the lines weren't straight and the yarn overs were off. So I was like, there's really no way to fix this without ripping back to where I got off. But by the time I did that, it was like gonna be a pretty much, you know, just starting over. So I was just like, just frog it. And if you don't get it back on the needles, you don't get it back on the needles. So that's what I've done. Not thrilled that I did that, but you know, I just wasn't happy with how it was turning out. I don't know, honestly, if I'm going to cast it back on. And the reason is because I don't know that I really would have worn it a whole lot. So, yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. The yarn is beautiful. I love the yarn. I may just go back to using it as sock yarn because it is sock yarn, but we'll see. I'm not too worried about it. The yarn will be used either way. So sadly, that is off the needles now, but not because I finished it. So I'll work on figuring out what I'm gonna do with that yarn later. All right, the only other whip that I used, that I actually worked on this week, were my very stripy DRK Everyday Socks. Hang on, let me unravel these. Here we are. These are toe up socks, and I am knitting them using Giddy Knits for the toes and heels and cuffs, and then Felice for the body. This is the foot. There's a heel coming in, well, the turn for the heel, all that. It's a Flegel heel. And I realized that, so these are 10 gram minis, the Giddy yarn. So the heel on this sock will be slightly more of a purple color instead of this pinky color. Each one of them, of the Giddy Knits I have, are slightly different colors, so it's okay. They don't need to match perfectly, so I'm okay with that. I am entering these in a couple Sox-A-Long, so if you want to, or knit-alongs, so if you want to participate in those, I have the links down below, but Lisa at 72 Stitches / Knit All the Yarn, she is hosting Stripe-A-Long, knit-along, Stripe-A-Long, doesn't have to be socks, but it can be. I'm doing, participating in that. And then SoxyNanaAlice and Diane at My Pink Bathtub are doing Sox-A-Long 2025. So we'll be entering these in that too. So if you're interested in joining me in those knit-alongs, go look below. All right. I've talked to you about these socks. The yarn, I'm not too thrilled with the Felice, but it's fine. I'm going to end up keeping these for myself because of the dye issues with the Felice. I don't want to give them away, and because the yarn's I'm not 100% thrilled with it. It's not bad, but yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I'm also doing slightly smaller socks than I normally, or that I have knit in the past with this pattern. I'm doing the 56 stitches. I did 60 last time, the first time I knit this pattern. And it's a really good fit at 60, but I think I can do a little better, at least for myself. So 56, we're trying that. Let's see, that's about it for the active whips. I did not knit on anything else. I was so determined to get that sweater done. I mean, I thought I was going to knit on my shirt, and then I ripped it out, so yeah. Moving on to things that I'm going to cast on, pick up. I don't know what I'm going to cast on yet. I'm probably going to cast on Charlie the chimpanzee who's back there. He needs a shirt and a jacket, so those will probably be the next thing I cast on. I also am going to pick up a lingering whip, which I'll share with you in a second. But let's talk a little bit more about Charlie, who I should have brought up here, but he's fine. So Atticus, my 2-year-old grandson, has claimed Charlie. I was originally knitting Charlie for myself, but Atticus is in love with Charlie. The problem is, though, and Atticus's mom was like totally about this. Atticus has 3 big dogs, one of whom is a puppy, but they're big dogs, and they chew everything. So I don't really want Charlie to go over there and be eaten by a dog. And Atticus's mom agreed with me, so Charlie will be staying over here, and Atticus, who lives 3 doors down, when he comes over, we'll play with Charlie over here. So that's what we're going to do with Charlie. So I will get his shirt cast on this week and then do his jacket. I'm not doing shoes for him. That's a Louise Crowther pattern, and yeah, the pattern calls for some shoes that are really cute, but as someone pointed out here, I will be constantly having to knit shoes because Atticus will be losing the shoes at some point. So good point, whoever said that. So definitely no shoes. All right, the whip that it's a lingering whip. Hang on, let me get a sock blocker, hang on. So this is going to look familiar to some of you who are sock knitters because you probably knit this last year and probably finished it. I knit it and I lost interest and I did not finish it. So I have one finished color Popportunity sock. So this is a Stephen West mystery Sox-A-Long pattern, and I think it was like late June, July, and I knit the one and I lost interest and I didn't finish the second one. So my goal is to cast on the second one this week so I can get it off the needles before the next Stephen West knit along comes. Honestly, I don't know if I'll participate, but yeah, I do want to get this done. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that second sock that matches this. I'll be working on that this week. And yeah, this yarn is dark something. Hang on, let me look it up really quick here. So the story of this yarn is I actually went to Amsterdam to Stephen and Penelope, which is the store that Stephen West owns. And I was shopping for just all kinds of things there last summer. So I bought this yarn to knit this, and then I didn't finish it. So, hang on, I'm just looking. It is Dark Omen yarn. It's I think an Italian dyer. But I bought it at Stephen and Penelope just for this project, and so I'd like to go ahead and finish it. So yes, there it is. So that's on the radar for this week. Hang on here. All right, next up, let's do stash enhancement, otherwise known as retail therapy, or what's that word? Acquisitions. Sorry. Yeah, and I've had a lot of coffee already too, so. Okay, let's first talk about, I want to call out someone here who really has been so helpful in the whole journey with this sweater. Karen at Recreational Knitter. She has been there with me on the hunt for yarn for the sweater. She has been diligently checking eBay, Etsy, all the places for more yarn for this sweater. There was a day, that's about a month ago, she sends me a link to some Shibui knits that on the screen, she and I both agreed that it really looked like this yarn. We knew it wasn't because the base was different, right? But one night late, I might have not been all there, but I was like, I'm just going to buy that yarn and see if the color matches. It wasn't even like close as far as, the weight of the yarn and all that. But I was like, I'm just going to buy it and see, is that the right color? Because if it is, maybe there's something I can do to make it work. Yeah. So I bought this. This is beautiful, by the way. This is Shibui Silk Cloud in the colorway Pollen. It is lace weight. No way was I going to be able to do this. Not only that, but it does not match. Not one bit. So that was the first stash enhancement. I'll use this for something, but yeah, definitely not that. So then last Friday, after I recorded, I mentioned that I was going to go to the yarn store and buy some yarn that would perfectly match this or come really close. So I did. Ooh, thought I saw a little hole. I might have, but I'll worry about that later. So I went to the Tangled Ball in Edgewater, my local yarn store, and Marcia and this nice lady helped me, like I said, and we settled on this yarn that is, it's actually a light fingering, and if I hold it triple, it would be worsted weight. So that's what the plan was before I realized that I was going to be okay. But I had bought it and I had wound it up and had it all ready to start knitting before I double checked everything with this. And it turned out I didn't need it, but I can't take it back. And that's okay, because I love this. It'll work. There it is. It's not quite the same, but if I had just been doing the cuffs and the hem with this, it'd be fine. So this is Earth yarn, and it is their ultrafine merino, 100% ultrafine fingering weight in merino, 100%. So it is, it was 3 50-gram balls. So yes. So I'll do something with it. I don't know what. Maybe make a hat or something. So it doesn't match that even, but I could put them together and see what happened, right? Could happen. All right, so that was on that. That was emergency yarn, so it almost like it doesn't count, but it does. So yes, hang on. Sorry for the crinkling. Trying to keep it all together. All right, so that was acquisition number 1. Acquisition number 2. So I have talked about this before, but my daughter-in-law's best friend who lives in Oklahoma, when she was here in April for Atticus's birthday, she was really excited to see my yarn stash. She loves hand knit socks, hand knit shawls, scarves, all that. She doesn't have anyone to knit them for her anymore, so she's now my best friend too. So I bought this yarn because I had asked her, what are your favorite colors? And she said blue and purple. And so I saw this yarn from Night Owl Fibers. There it is. It is the Barn Owl sock yarn, the base. The color is Down in the Meadow, and it's 75/25. It is beautiful. It is purple, blue, green, little pinks. Yeah. So I'm gonna knit Brooke, that's her name, Brooke some socks with this. So it's self-striping, so yeah. I'm all about the self-striping right now. And yeah, okay. Next set of yarn. This is also meant for socks. Of course, if you watched a few episodes ago, I was not happy with my Felicia yarn that first time I used it. And yeah, it was the whole drama thing there. Well, someone here recommended that I try Knit Picks Stroll, which is also a affordable yarn, but they said they liked it better than Felicia. Well, I had been eyeing some Stroll, so I was like, well, you suggested it, I'm going to go ahead and buy it and see. I'll buy a yarn at the drop of a hat, right? You just think about it and tell me you're thinking about it, and I'll go buy the yarn. Okay. So here it is. I bought this mini skein set of Knit Picks Stroll. The colorway is Clown Car, and it's beautiful. And I'm going to do stripy socks with it. Yes. So got that. Knit Picks was having a sock yarn sale, so got that. All right, next thing, sorry. I got, so I really meant to look this up, but I didn't, and now I can't find it. So yeah, gonna have to just live with this explanation of what this is. Explorer Knit was having, they were doing this dye project that was all based on parts of the country. And so I waited. I was like, well, when's she gonna get to Colorado and, you know, the western states and all? So she got to it and she started, this is the Rocky Mountain collection. And so I bought some more mini skeins, and it's Explorer Knit, which is local to me. There it is. I'm holding it this sideways. I hope you can see it, because otherwise there, the reflection. But isn't that beautiful? I love the deep, rich colors. These are gonna definitely be socks. Just beautiful. Yes. Yes, so that's it. I bought a bunch of yarn, okay? I have a little bit more still coming in, but since I used 22 skeins in my husband's sweater, it all kind of worked out. It didn't really, but yeah, you know. What else? I think that's it as far as yarny stuff. Oh, I did. The one thing I had bought for my husband's sweater that I'm waiting for. Well, I was out of wool wash, so I decided that I would just go ahead and order some, because I didn't want to go back into a store, like into a physical store. But I've been trying to get a big tub to do, like, to wash sweaters and things in, because right now our sink, well, is fine for, our kitchen sink is fine for things like socks and hats and all, but I didn't have anything super big. So I went ahead and ordered a tub from Soak, the company that makes the wool wash I like. And so that's coming with the wool wash this week. We hope this week. And so then I will use it to block the sweater and all. I could have just done it in the bathtub, but I was like, well, I've been looking for one of these tub things, so I'll just go ahead and get it. And yeah, it's not like my husband's gonna wear that sweater anytime soon. So yeah, I'm gonna hold off on blocking it till the tub gets here. But they had like the tub and a huge bottle of Soak. They had the special deal, so I was like, I'll just get it all. So that's it. That was acquisitions. No, nothing else that I can think of. Anything else? I think that's it. All right. If you're not sticking around, I get that. Like and subscribe. You can follow me on Ravelry as BobbleHeadKnits. I'm on Reddit as BobbleHeadKnits. I'm on Storygraph as BobbleHeadKnits. I do have an Instagram account. I do not maintain it, so do not message me there. It's there, but I don't look at it. I don't, yeah, none of that stuff. So, all right. For those of you sticking around, little life stuff. It's been a kind of crazy morning already. I actually went out, well, I recorded this originally, and then I was going to go for a bike ride, have breakfast, do all the things, and it turned out that instead of going for a bike ride, we just went and had breakfast. We went with Addie and his mom, and it's just a little overcast, and she had an appointment, and we didn't think we had time to get a bike ride in. So then I came in and I was like, I think I'm going to record the video again, because the other one felt like it was just too rambly and yeah, not the best. Like, this is much better, right? So yeah, that was my morning. This past week I had a little incident. I went to, I was actually on my lunch break from work, and I work at home, as many of you know. I came in the office to pick up something, and I turned around to leave, and I tripped over my walking pad. I have a walking pad that I use, and I walk like 3 miles a day on it, and it folds up. And so I shove it out of the way so I don't trip on it. Well, I had put on socks, and my floors are hardwood and really slippery, and I slid, I tripped. It was this big massive fall. I was very lucky I did not hurt myself worse than I did. Yeah. I'm a fall risk, people. Yeah. But I hit my left knee really hard and my hip. They're okay, but it's been 2 days of a lot of soreness. So another reason I didn't really want to go on the bike ride. I'm okay though, yes, but I did tell my husband, we won't mention this to my doctor because I don't want to be labeled a fall risk. And yeah, even though I am. All right, I'm going to be 60 next year, and it's like, okay. Other things that went on, not a whole lot of anything. It was finally a sane week. So I was able to get a little bit more knitting time in. I think that's it. Is that it? Yeah, that's it as far as that. Okay, I am working the Memorial Day on Monday, so I won't have my long weekend till next weekend. So I don't know what I'm doing my long weekend. We'll see. Reading and watching. I just finished this book that you all might like. Let me open up my Storygraph so I can tell you the name. It's called Fun for the Whole Family by Jennifer Smith. It's a family drama, but it's not super, it's heavy, but it's not like, it won't leave me in the dumps, basically. And there were some funny moments in it too, so yeah. But definitely recommend it if you like family dramas. And watching, we just finished watching the series on Netflix, Ripley, which I had watched the movie and I had read the book, and then we watched the series. I like the series the best. I love the book first, but then the series is definitely better than the movie. So, all right, with all that said, I'm going to go try to clean up this mess, get this uploaded. Hope everyone has a great week. If you're off, enjoy the extra time off, and we'll see you all later.